Hi everyone, can you see me? I haven't done one of these in a long time. Um, Hi. Are you guys into Orlando enough? It's really bright here. It's also really strange to be talking and not hearing you all. Hi everyone. I'm a little early because I'm neurotic. I'm really excited to share this music video that's been in my head for a really long time that my good friends helped me bring to life. And I think this might be my new favorite music video. I was really sad for a long time because I would spend so much time and effort into trying to bring bigger and better music videos to life. And I always felt like I could never get better than some of my earlier videos. And I think I finally broke that curse, and I think that this is my new favorite music video. So I hope that you guys all enjoy it today. Let me know if you guys have any questions in the chat. How's everyone doing? Hi Michelle, EDK says, will 2042 ever come back to Spotify again? It's one of my favorite songs. So that was, I think, a part of a polyvinyl 4-track series. And the reason why I took it off, I said in another live, was because there's an old version of Posing in Bondage that was getting more attention than the new version. And so I wanted to take it off. So the other one, which I felt was more representative of our work, was getting more focus. I think someday I will release I think someday I would like to release a bunch of my old demos and sort of songs that didn't find real homes in a compilation of sorts, but not for a while, I think. My favorite song on the new album asks Sunrise Center. Sorry, there's a very strong light here. My favorite song, I think my favorite song on the record right now is Magic Mountain, which is the last track on the album. I think it's really beautiful, and yeah, it really defines sort of my life right now, and a lot of my feelings right now. And I think it's a very mature, pretty track that I'm excited to share with everyone. 안녕, 민채. Wow, so many questions. How's your stay in Korea? I'm actually in Philadelphia right now for rehearsals. I left Korea on Christmas Eve, and I cried for 4 days because I didn't want to go, but it was such a really special time, and I can't wait to find a way to get back there because I'm not finished with my time there by any means. Seaweed asked, hi Michelle, is Melancholy an intentional thematic contrast to Jubilee? Thanks for everything. Can't wait for the new book too. Thanks, Seaweed. Yes, Melancholy is a very intentional contrast to Jubilee. I toured an album about joy for 3 years, and I think the last couple albums have been sort of, you're always responding to the things that you do before it. And it felt, I always wanted to surprise people with where I go next. And now that we're sort of known to be a more jubilant band, I wanted to confuse you all and become a melancholic band. So I think a lot of the record is more guitar focused because I wasn't playing much guitar on Jubilee, because there were these sort of bigger arrangements with horns and strings, and a lot of times there wasn't really any need for a rhythm guitar. And so this album, there's a lot more sort of interlocking finger picking stuff. I'm on guitar a lot more. The songs are more melancholic and quieter, I think. They're more kind of complex and intricate songs. So that was definitely a conscious decision. Amy Chang asks, when is the new book coming out? I thought that I was going to be so bored in Korea last year, and I thought that I was going to just be completely writing the book, but actually learning the Korean language, which is what I was there to do and write about, took kind of all of my mental capacity, and I was studying Korean for like 8 hours a day. And also I realized that it was most important for me to utilize that time and just seizing the day and living my life there. So I was keeping a journal mostly for 10 minutes a day, and I think now I will be rereading that journal and kind of finding the arc and creating the book from there. So I think that it'll be another 2 year, maybe a year and a half, 2 years. We'll see. I think it will go faster than crying in H Mart, but I don't want to rush it either. So I think I'm aiming, I don't know, either late 2026 or maybe 2027. Um, my dream artist or band to work with, Mitski Data asks, I really would love to meet Johnny Greenwood, or any of the members of Radiohead. I don't know what exactly I would have to contribute to our collaboration, but I definitely would love to collaborate with them. I also really I would love to collaborate with the band Air. I think that that would be an amazing experience. Uh, um, Ahmed asks, can you please talk a bit about the album cover and its influences? I love the paintings you posted on Instagram. Yeah, I think that I knew for a really long time that I wanted the album cover to be an image of me passed out on a table, sort of looking like I have gout or something. I've overconsumed my fill and am sort of fatigued with melancholy. And I found this to be a major trope in a lot of paintings that I shared on Instagram. Uh, Melancholy was sort of viewed as a sort of disease in the olden times, and people were sort of being diagnosed with an excess of black bile, and having these feelings of sort of broad despair. And I think, in a way, for me, the cover feels like I have everything I want, which was sort of how I was feeling while writing this record. There's this sort of banquet table with all these kinds of goods that are all sort of Easter eggs of different lyrics. There's which I'm realizing now you guys don't have, but there are guts on the table, and there's a line about guts. There's a line about Gordian knot, and in the pie there's a Gordian knot weaved into it. There is honey water. There are everything on the table is a different nod to a lyric on the record. And I wanted to look kind of like a sort of overconsumptive prince who's kind of gorged his fill and has passed out from melancholy on his table. So that's where that came from, and Pak Bae shot it, and I'm really happy with the way that it turned out. Yeah. Okay. Gabriel Cordero asks, "Hey Michelle, Blonde Redhead also has music. Sorry, I'm sick. Also has music named after Thomas Mann's Magic Mountain. Have you heard it?" I That's a really funny story, because when I was writing Magic Mountain, it was after I had read Thomas Mann's Magic Mountain. I loved it so much. It's my husband's favorite book, and I think Hans Castorp is maybe one of my favorite literary protagonists of all time. And he's just such a fancy, sort of melancholic boy. And I thought, sort of like Kate Bush's Wuthering Heights, like I could just sing a synopsis of that book because it's so great. And then I was in the studio recording it, and the day after we recorded it, and I was feeling really happy with it, Joseph, the engineer, pulled up that song and was like, and sent it to me, and was like, "Oh, I think we're in trouble." And I realized I must have heard it because I loved that record. But when I listened to that song, I didn't listen to the lyrics, I think, and I hadn't read Thomas Mann's book at that point in time. And then I realized that the lyrics, because they're both sort of synopsis of this book, I had to change the lyrics, and I was so devastated because I really loved them the way that they were. But actually, it ended up becoming a more personal, reflective song because I had to change it and sort of make it sort of about things that I was feeling and about my life and sort of less of a synopsis of this book. So it ended up being a good thing. But yeah, I am painfully aware that Blonde Redhead also has a song called The Magic Mountain. How did I meet Emmy Salcido asks, how did I meet Ginger Root? I just met Ginger Root in Japan, in Tokyo, when I was there in October. And I think I had heard about Ginger Root in 2023 at the Salt Shed, because my friend Jill, who plays in the band Great Time, was telling me that they thought I would really like Ginger Root's music. And I kind of filed it away, but I was really sick at that time and busy, and I didn't check it out. And then it got brought up to me again by my booking agent, Timmy, who is visiting Korea, I think, in September. And he said that they were signed to Ground Control, our booking agency, and they were fans, and I should really check them out because we're sort of cut from the same cloth. And I checked out their music videos, and I thought, this person is so creative, and I love their music so much. And then I saw that I asked them, I sent them a DM, and I was like, I'm so excited to go on tour with you. And I asked them where they were based, and they said that they were between LA and Japan. And I asked if they were in Tokyo because I was headed there that week. And then we were able to meet up, and that's where I met Ginger Root. And I'm so excited for the tour, because I think that Cameron is so creative, and the live shows look so sick. And I'm so excited that we get to do a really long tour together and get to spend more time with each other. Alexandra Tawny asks, what are some of your favorite venues to play? I'm really excited. I mean, I think it's a tough. Well, I will say that we really loved playing the Salt Shed in Chicago, which we're playing again on this tour. And is part of the reason why we wanted to go back there. Union Transfer obviously has a soft spot in my heart. I have my coat check named after me there, but this time I've been wanting to play the Met because this album is more. I want this concert series to feel kind of like sort of like borderline like ballet or opera or play. So I think a lot of the production will kind of feel like it should sit in the kind of beautiful theater. So I specifically tried to pick beautiful theaters where you could really appreciate the sort of production and intimate quality of this record. So yeah, we picked a lot of places like that. But honestly, a lot of my favorite venues are the kind of like scuzzier, smaller ones. SJO asks, did you have a brat summer? Honestly, I was really the only thing I was really envious of the West was having the brat summer, because last year I didn't listen to any music or watch any content with English in it. I wanted to be fully immersed in Korean and only watch Korean shows, Korean movies, listen to Korean music. So I didn't have a brat summer last year because I didn't allow myself, but it looked like such a fun time. Well, there's so many people in the chat. Thank you for being here and asking questions. Gay Shampoo Bamboo asks, how was your experience working with Blake Mills? Ultimately, I'm really happy with the way that the record turned out, but it was both really inspiring and really challenging, honestly. Blake is an absolutely incredible producer and guitar player, and I knew for this record I wanted to work. This was actually my first studio album. And I knew that I've always only worked with just friends of mine that happen to be producers. And I've never worked with someone who I completely didn't know, who's like helmed a lot of projects as a producer, and wanted to sort of take on that full responsibility. So yeah, I mean, I really wanted to meet someone that would push me to a new place, and that was both really inspiring and also really hard and challenging sometimes. And I'm really happy with the way that it turned out. But yeah, it was definitely hard for me, but it was also really challenging and really special. And I'm really, really happy with the way that it turned out and honored that I got to work with Blake on it. How long did it take? Karina asked, how long did it take to record the album? I think I wrote the record for maybe like on and off, maybe a year and a half. And then we recorded the record in LA for a month in December, which is actually, I think, maybe the most time that I've had on a record. And Blake was saying felt really short for him, but yeah, we worked on it for a month, and it felt both short and long. Eli asked, will you end up playing any Little Big League songs ever again? Sometimes when I play solo shows, I'll play. Sorry, I'm having a hard time like getting out of this light and being comfortable in this chair. Sometimes when I play solo shows, I like to play Lindsay, and we've played Lindsay as a full band before, and it's quite funny because it's so much faster, and it feels so different playing it with the Japanese Breakfast Band. But yeah, I still really love those songs. I think maybe someday I could see a world where we play more of those songs. But honestly, besides a few people like you, for instance, not many people really know what that is or like it, I think, or there's not much demand for it compared to the other JB songs. So it's hard to find time for it. And I honestly always have, I don't know. I don't buy that people want sets over an hour period. But I feel this need to play for at least an hour and 20 minutes or so. So I tried to focus on Japanese breakfast songs that people probably want to hear more than Little Big League songs. Pascal A asked, best album of 2024. Like I said, I didn't listen to much English music, English speaking music in 2024. But when I came home, I really enjoyed the MJ Lenderman record. Sorry, guys. I think I have to blow my nose. Don't save this live. Okay. We have 4 minutes before the premiere of Orlando in Love. Are you guys pumped? And then I have to go to rehearsal. Speaking of blowing your nose, what's the handkerchief behind? What's the inspo behind the handkerchief? Great ass. Sorry, I'm getting over a cold. My handkerchief that comes with the deluxe album pre-order was designed by my dear friend Minche in Korea, and she originally made that design as a joke because we were making fun of her for not. We made this joke that she wasn't able to read and could only read webdings, and she made this. She's an amazing graphic designer and made this little illustration with webdings that just said "Melancholy, brunettes, and sad women." But I loved the design so much, we ended up making it into a shirt and a handkerchief. And I was asked to put a special little detail in the pre-order package, and I thought for all the melancholy brunettes and sad women to wipe your tears, I included a handkerchief in there. That was the inspo. Lauren asks, how did you choose the font for the album cover? It's not a font, it's a handwritten cursive that my friend Minche, who also did the handkerchief design, worked on tirelessly. I have pictures of her with just like maybe hundreds of pages of her doing this cursive writing with a quill. And yeah, I mean, we went through many, many iterations before we decided. I knew, the album title was really important and had to be really big on the album. Oh my God, this is already over almost. And yeah, we picked that together after many different iterations. And yeah, I really love the way that it turns out. BBS, book recommendations to read while listening to the new record. Yeah, that's a great question because I was reading a lot during this album. I think a lot of like Gothic literature and European romantic literature. So definitely Thomas Mann's The Magic Mountain. The album title for Melancholy Brunettes and Sad Women comes from a short story In the World of Apples by John Cheever. And that's also where I learned about Orlando Innamorato, which is the inspiration behind Orlando in Love. It's an epic poem by a Renaissance poet, Italian Renaissance poet called Boiardo. And actually, he references Orlando Furioso, which is this sort of sequel to Orlando Innamorato that he sees on a relic in the subway station, and that's how I sort of went down that rabbit hole. But I would eventually like to do something where I compile a list of books to read as a companion piece to this record, maybe in some press outlet or something. Suspect asks thoughts in the new Nosferatu. I haven't seen it yet, but I can't wait to watch it after my rehearsals. Yeah, we have 1 minute till the Orlando in Love music video premiere, and I'm so excited, and I can't wait for you guys to see it. Fidel Ramirez asks, is there a music genre you haven't done but want to try? I think for the next album, I want to make like sexy car commercial music. So I think that will be the next genre I want to try. Whether you guys like that or not, it's probably the opposite of whatever this record is. Thank you for being at the premiere. I think it's gonna move to that, so I'm gonna end the stream. And I hope you enjoy. This is my favorite music video, and we worked really hard on it. So thank you guys so much for being here. Bye.